Yeah, so I recorded this video and then I accidentally deleted it. So I'm gonna try not to do that again, but no promises with that one. Um, but anyways, hello everybody. Welcome to a brand new video. Sorry if it looks like really sweaty because I am. It's really humid outside. Not really that hot, just like really humid and yeah, sucks to suck. Actually, I'm gonna turn up the lighting there. I think that looks a little bit better. Yeah, just like it was like really sunny when I first recorded this. Now it's really cloudy and rainy, so that kind of sucks. But anyways, um, yeah, top 10 horror movies from the 2010s. Now this is just my personal list. If a movie you love doesn't make the list, then probably came close, but a lot of great movies to choose from the last decade. I think that it is the best decade for horror that we've ever had. Just so many great movies to choose from. But yeah, this is my top 10. Now, before I start, I will take a quick drink wherever my drink is. Okay. Here we go. Always stay hydrated. And, yeah, I guess we start things off with number 10. That is going to be Midsummer. Now, I actually had another movie, in the number 10 spot, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, I really like this movie, so I'm gonna put it at number 10. Yeah, it's just like really beautiful and trippy. It's kind of like a soft remake to the original Wicker Man movie, and you guys can probably hear the rain outside right now. Um, Whatever, I can't control the weather. Um, but yeah, Florence Pugh has a great performance. I know some people criticize it for being similar to the Wicker Man, but I don't think that's a valid criticism for this film at all, because thematically, it's very different than the original Wicker Man. It has completely different kind of story and themes running through it. But yeah, really bizarre, really disturbing at some points, and great, character stuff going on. And that sex scene at the end, that doesn't turn you on, I don't know what will, so... just joking about that last part, maybe. Number 9 is The Babadook, one of the most defining horror films of the last decade, or 2010s, because this really kind of moved the genre into the direction it ended up going in the last half of the decade, more of these more art house type horror films. And this really was one that really, kicked that whole movement off, I feel like. But, yeah, this movie is absolutely terrifying, has a great metaphor, great performances. Yeah, it's The Babadook, not a monster movie, which a lot of people thought it was going to be, and they didn't like it for that reason, but, yeah, it is an awesome movie, regardless. So, number 8 may surprise some people, but it is going to be Suspiria, the remake to the 1970s Italian horror masterpiece of the same name, directed by Dario Argento, which is one of my favorite horror films of all time. And this is about as good as a Suspiria remake could be, in my opinion. A lot of people criticize it because it doesn't have the same kind of feel that the original one did in terms of like all the colors in it and the dreamlike atmosphere, but I love the direction that this movie went in. It's really dark and gloomy, kind of like it is outside right now. Really brutal, really depressing, but also beautiful at the same time. I think this is just a perfect example of how you do a remake. So, comes in at number 8. Number 7, another one of the more defining horror films of the 2010s. It Follows. Again, came out in the same year as The Babadook, I believe, and just kind of like the original Suspiria, has like a really kind of dreamlike atmosphere to it, and it has this like really cool retro, timeless feel to it, and super, super original movie, super unique. Love the score in this movie, and again, this movie is just beautiful to look at. Yeah, it is incredible. I think the director made another movie, and I don't think it was very good, so that sucks. Number 6, movie I'm sure almost everybody watching this has seen, A Quiet Place. I think this is absolutely brilliant. Having this great character movie without there really being any line of dialogue being said, other than like a few lines at one part. You just kind of, get the story told through the actors and their, facial expressions and their emotions, and they just do a great job with it. Really tense movie, brilliant premise, kind of like almost a throwback to the old silent horror movies in a way. And yeah, sequel was really good to this too. Not as good as this one, but I did really like the sequel. But yeah, great movie. That was number 6, and number 5 is The Lighthouse, starring Batman and the Green Goblin there. Yeah, for those of you who still think Robert Pattinson is just that dude from Twilight, watch this movie and watch Tenet and some of his later, more recent movies, and yeah, you'll think otherwise. I'm actually convinced that this isn't the same person as in Twilight. Like, I think this is like his twin brother who's like a really good actor or something, because he's like a totally different person anymore. Anyways, this is just the perfect late night movie, or just when you're in the mood to watch something really eerie and creepy. Slow burn, but just super, super effective. Shot in black and white, again, kind of a throwback movie to those old Universal type movies. Really puts you in mind of something like Dracula, just like really, not really a whole lot of score in it, just, just really, really atmospheric. You just kind of hear the background noise of, the setting and whatnot. And I really like movies where people are stuck in a location and they start to go crazy and stuff like that, aka like The Shining. So yeah, amazing movie is number 5. Number 4 is The Conjuring 2. This movie almost surprised me, because going into it, the original one set the bar pretty high, and this one, really, did a really good job at matching that pretty much. Just great characters in this. Ed and Lorraine Warren, their characters, not the real people. Really just steal the show in this movie. Super effective, really scary. James Wan, he knows what he's doing with these Conjuring movies. Back when the Conjuring movies were actually had some effort put into them. So that is number 4. Number 3, one of the best horror films ever made, in my humble opinion, The Witch. Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy in this movie, and whatever the dad's name in this movie, are just Oscar-worthy performances, and of course they didn't get nominated because it's a horror film, and they never do. But yeah, another one that's like a real slow burn. Not for everybody, obviously, half the people that talk about this movie say it's a snooze fest. Other ones are like, oh, it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. I'm definitely close to the latter. Really, probably the most haunting movie I've ever seen in my life. Just a great period piece, and yeah, I think it's in the top 10 horror films ever made. So that is just in terms of quality. That was number 3. Number 2 is the original Conjuring. Just the perfect haunted house movie. I don't think this movie will ever be surpassed in terms of, that subgenre. It doesn't have the tropes that you see in a lot of haunted house movies, with the typical kind of family member that doesn't believe the house is haunted and gets really annoying about it. This movie just has a family. They're all likable. You really care about them. You want to see the problem get solved. And it's nice and simple. And it's super effective. It just, the scares in this movie are just super well set up. Really well done. The cinematography and, directing is just top notch. Just, the top of the top when it comes to haunted house films, I think so. So, that is number 2. It is pouring down rain right now outside. So my number 1 of last decade, one of my top 3 favorite horror films ever made, and one I think is actually probably in the top 5 or 4 best horror films ever made as well. Hereditary. Yeah. I think this movie, you could put it up against any horror film ever made and make arguments for this film, being the superior film. I really do. Direction, acting, top notch. It has the entire film has this like sinister and foreboding and gloomy atmosphere to it. It's really eerie. The ending to this movie, my God, just anxiety-inducing, really. I think the first time I watched this, I actually got anxiety from watching it. Just some of the most haunting imagery ever, and it's just so freaking tense. And there's also some, great themes that I really resonate with going throughout this film. They tackle, mental illness, family drama, grief, stuff like that, and it's all just packaged perfectly into this super scary and effective horror film. I absolutely adore this movie. So, that is why it is number 1. So, there you have it. There's my top 10. Let me know what you think of my list in the comments below. If you have any movies that you think I missed or be on your list, also let me know about those too. And, I'll catch you guys in the next one.